Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
Rob tipped me off to a story out of Canada, but this could happen here. Strange story involving automobile insurance. From globalnews.ca, Sean O'Shea wrote it. Vehicle modifications cause insurance complications for Ontario man. So, vehicle modifications cause insurance complications. So, the man in question takes a lot of pride in his car. He's 21 years old. He's from Whitby, Ontario, and he leased a 2020 Subaru BRZ, and he's working two jobs to pay for it. So the man's got his priorities straight. Kind of like when I was a young man and I had a car, and every summer day I washed it. Every summer day. So the monthly lease on his BRZ cost him about $500, and his insurance costs $7,200 a year. Now, I could do the math in that, but I think his insurance payments are higher than his car payments. So he was involved in an auto accident in March that totaled his vehicle. It totaled his vehicle. So he filed a claim with the insurance company, and they said, nope, we're not going to pay. We are not going to pay. And so the claim would have been $35,000, but the insurance company ain't covering it. So the man was not charged in the accident, although he was said to be at fault by the insurance company. So that's not why they denied the claim, though. It refused to pay for the loss because the man had modified the exhaust. And they had done that without letting them know. So the Subaru exhaust system had been modified. The insurance company said, we'd pay your claim, but you modified your exhaust. So when he leased the vehicle in 2020, he paid another $2,000 to have a customized exhaust system installed on the Subaru. He keeps the original one because when he turns the car back in at the end of the lease, if he does that, he's going to swap it back out and put the stock one back on. Now, it's a 4-year lease, and of course, the modified exhaust is a popular thing among the youth, and it is typically louder than the original equipment that comes with the vehicle. And he, of course, told Global News, if I knew modifications would affect insurance, I wouldn't have done that. But of course, who knows these things? Other drivers are probably unaware as well. Especially, they don't carefully read their insurance policy and the documents that accompany it. And I always tell people that when you have an issue with your insurance, you got to read the policy to see what it says. And most people learn things when they do that, but they learn things long after they've signed up for the policy and been paying on it. So I would suggest that when they send you the policy at the beginning, skim through it, read it, and you might be surprised to find language in it that says, for instance, if you modify your car in any way that affects the performance, it's going to void the policy. So in an overview letter that was sent to the man at the time he was insured, the insurance company alluded to this, and here's the quote. Your vehicle is considered to be modified if it has been changed in any way from its original condition in order to improve or alter its performance, appearance, or increase its value. If you make or plan to make modifications to your vehicle, contact us to make certain we are able to insure you properly. So they're basically saying, look, you can make the modifications, but let us know. And if you don't let us know, then we're off the hook. So modifications could include a different exhaust system, a lowered suspension, and even tinted windows. If an insurance company believes you have violated its terms, you could pay the price. The insurance company not only denied his claim, they canceled his policy. So now the story that we're talking about here has a happy ending because globalnews.ca contacted the insurance company and said, we're doing a story about this. And we're curious to know if you can give us some more insight into this. And after they contacted them, the insurance company changed their mind and agreed to pay the claim in full. When asked about that, a spokesperson said, that is correct. That is correct. They've agreed to pay the contract in full. But others might not be so lucky. If someone wants to modify a vehicle, a safe bet is to contact your insurance company and ask them. And I suspect if you ask them and it's nothing crazy, they're going to say fine. But you're going to want to get that in writing. So I can imagine someone saying, yeah, I called, I spoke to my agent. My agent said that shouldn't be a problem. Later on, you file the claim gets denied. Your agent goes, I said, what now? Who? When did I say that? And the weird thing is, and people will ask, what right does the insurance company have to make up wacky rules like this? Well, insurance companies are companies. They are regulated, but they are private. They're not a government entity in America, at least. I know there's some places where they have insurance that's some kind of relationship with the government that allows them to operate. But in America, a company like State Farm or Allstate, it's a company. It's just like any other company. And they have the right to draft the contract any way they like it. And if you don't like that, then you shouldn't buy it. And the problem is that many people buy things without figuring out what they're buying. So you need to look at the policy and find out. So if you've got a car that's heavily modded, you might want to look at your policy and see if it has any language in there like this and be aware of it. And the reason they're going to say that they do this is that it's twofold. One of which is if the vehicle's modified to give it more performance, there's a chance that upped performance might make the car more dangerous. So take a 16-year-old kid and put him in a car and put the same kid in a car that's been modified for higher performance and ask yourself which one is more likely to be involved in accidents or things that might, cause trouble for the insurance company. And they say, well, probably the one that's been modified, if anything, right? And that's number one. Number two, of course, is that let's suppose you've got collision on your car and you've got a whole bunch of performance body modifications with aero and stuff, wings and scoops and air extractors and, splitters and all this stuff. And you get in an accident and you take it into a body shop and the body shop goes, well, we can fix all the stock parts on the car, but that carbon fiber Kevlar wing that was, imported from Serbia, that's going to be expensive to replace. And of course, the owner's going to go, it doesn't matter. I got insurance. The insurance company's going to go, yeah, but we didn't know you had that expensive part on your car. There are some considerations that allow for this logic. So a court would uphold this if they said, hey, look, the contract says we don't cover this. You did it. We don't cover it. And a court's going to look at that and go, makes sense to us. So what I would urge you to do, if you've heavily modified your car, any way, shape, or form, glance at your insurance policy and see if it's covered. And if it doesn't address it, you might be off the hook. Like I said, I've never heard of this happening in America. Never heard of this. But I wouldn't be surprised if it has. And, it reminds me of the times that I've had people who've filed claims under a warranty where a manufacturer said, we're not going to pay, to have this work done because it looks like your modification caused this problem. And I know you're going to say, Steve, right to repair. We've been talking about that now. Well, no. I actually had it before where a client bought a brand new car from a dealership, mentioned to his salesman that he was thinking about putting an aftermarket exhaust on it. And his salesman said, oh, we can do that for you here. But in other words, you show us what you want. We'll order it. We'll install it. So the client does that, is driving the car down the road, has some kind of engine problems, and he brings it in for warranty repair. And someone else goes, dude, you've got aftermarket exhaust on this. What's up with that? Brand new car. Why would you do that? And he goes, I did it here. You guys installed it. And someone calls him back and goes, yeah, your car's not covered. That aftermarket exhaust voids your warranty on the engine. You guys installed it. What are you gonna do? We were trying to sell you something. We sold you something, So weird things do happen, but this is one that, like I said, I've not seen this one before, but it ended well. But I suspect it only ended well because it got so much attention. And I'm willing to bet you that it's happened before where it didn't make the news and somebody's out. So in this case, vehicle modifications caused an insurance complication for an Ontario man. It got resolved, but pretty much only after the intervention of the angry internet. So globalnews.ca ran it. Sean O'Shea wrote it, and Rob sent it to me. Thanks a lot. Questions or comments, put them below. Otherwise, talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. Life is not a journey to the grave. It's an adventure to be set out on with courage and optimism.